What's up, YouTube world? This is Steven again. It is currently 8:04 p.m. on July 14th of 2024, and I would like to welcome you all to my 26th video game review, Resident Evil 3 for the Xbox One. Jill Valentine's encounter with the unrelenting Nemesis in this survival horror classic remade. If you don't want any spoilers, leave now, and if you're still here, well, that's your fault. So this is about Jill Valentine, a detective or a police officer, I believe, in Racoon City for the RCPD, and you start off in her, I think, apartment or studio apartment or something like that, and you go out, you get like a distress call or you hear sirens in the Racoon City. And you start off in Racoon City, like on the streets of downtown Racoon City, and you encounter a bunch of zombies and stuff like that. And you encounter a person in the subway named Carlos Oliveira, I think. And you need to try to get the subway station or the subways back online. So the way you do that is you go through Raccoon City and try to get these certain terminals or whatever back online, and shortly after is when you have your first encounter with the Nemesis, and the Nemesis 1, I guess, is a very tyrant slash Mr. X-esque in a way, where he is impossible to kill with just like simple bullets alone, and you try to escape him, and once you do get the subway station back online, to get the subway station back online, you actually have to go through this kind of like grid where they have, hold on, what are the enemies called? They're spider-looking enemies. I gotta pull that page back up if it'll let me. I don't think it's gonna let me. My internet's not cooperating with me, but I want to say they're called Drain Deimos. They're spider-looking things, at least, and those things are freaky looking too. I mean, very freaky looking. And there is another character named Nikolai Zinoviev who I guess is undercover working with Umbrella on this thing where he wants to get the vaccine for himself, or he wants to get the vaccine for Umbrella and not the citizens of Raccoon City. So I'll get to why that's important later on. So after you get the subway station back online, the two trains in the subway disconnect, and Jill goes one way, the other subway train goes another. And this is now when you're playing as Carlos. You do play as both Carlos and Jill in the storyline, by the way. So you're playing as Carlos, and this is when you go to the Racoon City Police Department, and you try to find, I don't know if it's data or like some kind of certain thing that you need to get to Jill with. I can't really remember. But yeah. And before this, actually, she has her first boss fight with the Nemesis. This is Nemesis 1, and Nemesis 1 has a flamethrower, and he's trying to hunt you down and, like, try to do that little tyrant-esque punch or clothesline on you, in a way. And the way to beat him is you gotta go for the fuel tanks to the flamethrower, of course, so that would explode, and he would get blown sky high. So yeah, I thought that was cool. Now to get back to Carlos in the Raccoon City Police Department, and yes, here you will encounter lickers. Luckily, there are only 2 lickers, and there are a couple of moments where there is like 7, 8, or 9 zombies all together. But luckily, Carlos does have an assault rifle, an automatic assault rifle, so those are a little bit easier to kill, but it's still a lot of them that you gotta kill. And after that, you encounter another licker, the second licker, and that is when you, get access to, I forget what the place in the Raccoon City Police Department is called, but yeah, you get access to whatever place it is, and then you get back online, and then you go to Jill. You go back to Jill's storyline where she exits the oh no, she's in the sewers. Actually, she's in the sewers before she gets to the before you get to Carlos in the Raccoon City Police Department. She goes to the sewers and she encounters was it Hunter Gamma, which is kind of like slug-looking things, gigantic slug, like whitish gray slug-looking things that slither around the sewers, and you can kill these with like one of the I guess fire grenades or fire rounds that you can shoot from your grenade launcher, and one of those should kill him. After he has his mouth open, you shoot him and he's dead. And then after that, then you go to Carlos in the Racoon City Police Department, and then you'll go back to Jill where she's getting out of the subway, and she runs into the Nemesis again, but it's Nemesis 1, and then it falls into the water, and she's thinking, okay, it's the Nemesis, it can't swim. But this is when it turns into the Nemesis 2. And this is a very creepy, I guess, predator merman hybrid looking thing. And this thing gobbles up your ammo too. I mean, it takes a lot of ammo to beat this one. And okay, internet just died out on me, but I can still keep this video going because I remember a lot of the stuff. So then once you defeat him, he all of a sudden comes back to life and he shoots you with this little needle looking thing into the arm, and it infects you. So Carlos finds Jill infected and he gets Jill to the hospital, and the hospital is where you go through this other I guess phase in the story mode, and Carlos searches the hospital for a cure, and my internet just came back to me, so that's good. And in this place, he finds a bunch of zombies, and then he finds a few hunter betas, and these things are a pain in the ass. If you have any regular grenades, throw one and it should kill it with one grenade throw. It should, but if it doesn't, shoot it with either Jill's shotgun or Carlos's assault rifle, and then it should kill it in either one round of Carlos's assault rifle or 2 or 3 shotgun shots from Jill's shotgun. And yeah, those things suck, and he has to find a cure for Jill so she doesn't turn. And he eventually does, and he administers the cure. But once he administers the cure, there is like the entire zombie population of Racoon City comes to the hospital, and you gotta try to keep them out of the lobby where Jill and I guess Carlos's detective sidekick, I forget his name, but yeah, they're located. And you encounter a bunch of zombies, and you do encounter either 2 or 3 hunter betas, and like I said, those things are a pain in the ass. So you eventually set off a detonator, and that takes care of the rest of the zombies in the in that room. And then you go back and tell them that Racoon City is going to be hit with a missile if I don't get them some help. So Carlos goes back to Racoon City, and now you're back in Jill's body. Now that she's cured, she had that vaccine. Now she's cured of that, I guess, plague or disease, and or infection. There we go. And you search the rest of the hospital, and you end up running into a couple more hunter betas. And there is a certain part of the hospital where you get to go down to the basement level, and you try to get to Nikolai, who wants the vaccine for himself and Umbrella. I think he's undercover working with Umbrella, like I said. But you gotta find certain fuses. Once you find the fuses, then you can go after Nikolai. But after that, you gotta get past the Nemesis 2 again, because you apparently did not fully kill him. So then you go down to the basement level of the hospital, which is actually kind of like a lab in a way, and this is where you find the ingredients to I guess generate the vaccine yourself. And you find 2 ingredients, and in there you gotta fight 3 hunter betas, which sucks. Luckily I had 3 grenades, which took all 3 of them out. 1 grenade for one, the second for another, and the third for another. So luckily I had 3 on me at the time, and all 3 worked. So once you get the vaccine, you get the vaccine, and then you try to go after Nikolai, who is trying to get the vaccine for himself, or who does get the vaccine for himself somehow. And then you try to go after him, but in order to go after him, you gotta fight Nemesis 2 once again. This is another boss battle. There's, I think, a total of 4 boss battles, one with Nemesis 1 and 2 with Nemesis 2. I'll get to the next one in a minute. So the second one with Nemesis 2 is a little bit easier than the first one with Nemesis 2. I would say the first one with Nemesis 2 is the hardest of the 4 boss battles. This second one, Carlos comes back and he's assisting you, like telling you where the Nemesis is, along with if other zombies are hunting you down. And that's the what makes this one a little bit harder, is that you have lesser zombies that are hunting you, whereas in the first boss battle with Nemesis 2 you don't. And once you end up defeating Nemesis 2, Carlos ends up, I guess, draining a lot of acid onto the Nemesis 2, where this kind of dissolves him in a way. And now you run in order to try to get to Nikolai and that vaccine, but in order to do that, you gotta fight Nemesis 3. This thing just does not die. Luckily, I believe, in my opinion at least, Nemesis 3 is the easiest of the 4 boss battles. You would think it's the toughest, being the final boss, but in my opinion it's the easiest because he doesn't move. He stands still and he only attacks with his arms, so if you can dodge his arm attacks and make sure you get that high-powered electrical gun, you can take it down with one shot, but you gotta push these like little valve things in order to recharge the gun, because it does take 2 shots of that electric gun in order to take him down. And after that, you go after Nikolai, but Nikolai throws the vaccine and shoots the vaccine, and the vaccine, I guess, fluid or juice goes out of the syringe, and Jill gets really mad with him, and Carlos and Nikolai fight in, I guess, a cutscene. And after the cutscene finishes, you gotta take steady aim and shoot Nikolai because Carlos is holding him. You gotta make sure you don't shoot Carlos. I don't know what happens if you do, because I didn't. So you shoot Nikolai and leave Nikolai there to rot, because a missile is set to launch on Racoon City, pretty much vaporizing the town in general. So you leave Nikolai there to die, and the missile, which looks like an atomic bomb because there's a mushroom cloud after it hits, and radiation fills Racoon City, and Racoon City pretty much becomes a thing of the past, and that's where the story mode ends. So that is Resident Evil 3 in a nutshell. I know I kind of went all over the place with it, but in a way this video game was all over the place with jumping back and forth between Carlos and Jill. So what did I think about the game in general? I really liked how there were a lot of enemies. Like I said, you got the Hunter Betas, Hunter Gammas, you got the zombies, you got the Drain Deimos, Pale Heads, which are tougher zombies. And now you said you got Nemesis Stage 1, Stage 2, and Stage 3. You got the Lickers. You got the Zombie Dogs, too. You encounter about 4 of those throughout the whole, I guess, story mode. And you got NE Alpha parasites as well, which are these, like, orange glowing head parasites with, like, a little, I guess, like, whip thing growing out of their head. Generated by Nemesis Phase 1. But, overall, I thought it was good. I thought it was a little bit rushed in a way, though, just because of how successful the Resident Evil 2 remake was. I thought this was good, but I thought it was a little bit rushed. It wasn't a bad game, but I felt like it was rushed. I liked the story mode. The story mode, I think, was a bit shorter than Resident Evil 2, but overall, I thought it was really good. So on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, the Resident Evil 3 remake for the Xbox One's getting a 4.5 from me. I gotta keep looking through my video games to see what other video games I can do a review to, and what other video games I can play that would make a good review, but this is going to be my 26th video game review. Resident Evil 3, the remake for the Xbox One. If you liked what you saw in this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and comment below. And I'll see you guys next time with another video. This is Steven signing out.